makes most women start a business? Is it passion, money, or freedom? Welcome to Female Founders, the podcast that takes you behind the scene with women who are founders and CEOs to help you start and scale a successful business of your own. I am your host, Nagelia de Ravin. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Female Founders. Today we have an incredible, inspiring guest with us, Zovig Garboushian, an executive coach, speaker, facilitator, writer, and founder of Boldness, Ablaze coaching. Join us to share her journey and insight on empowering women in leadership. With over 25 years of experience, multiple certification in communication, leadership, change management, coaching, and more, Zovig has made it her mission to help women in leadership discover, define, and unleash the unique and powerful approaches to leading. She has worked with some of the world's biggest companies and leaders. Today, she is here to share her wisdom with us. Get ready to be inspired and empowered as we dive into the world of Zovig Garboushian. Good morning, Zovig. You are an executive coach and founder of Boldness, Ablaze coaching. I love the company name. I'm not going to steal it, but I do love the name. So how did the idea of being an executive coach come to you?
It came to me suddenly, but also it took some time. It was a slow burn. And then when it hit. So I had been working for years the first 15 years of my career were in marketing and advertising. And then I made a very hard pivot into learning and development. And once I started doing that, coaching just became part of what I did. That's how people responded to me. It was how I engaged with them. It was just a natural state of being. And then I went into organizational consulting and started doing change management and training and development. And again, coaching just continued to be a part of my engagement with my clients. That's how they responded to me. And then it was a moment, believe it or not, actually after my father passed away, where I was thinking about him. And, this might sound strange, but I'll say it anyway. I was in my car and I was just having a conversation as if he was there with me. And it just came out of my mouth. And I said, and I think I'm going to be a coach. My brain didn't really consider it. I didn't think about it. It just came out of my mouth. And when it did, that was it. I realized this is what needs to happen. And I signed myself up for a training very quickly thereafter and started my business within just a few months of that.
When you said that you have a conversation with your dad, don't be afraid to say it because I have conversation with my grandpa every single day. Like, what would grandpa do? Grandpa, what should I do? I'm lost. Please help me here. Yes. I have them all the time. So okay, good. I'm with you on that. So now, did you always want to become an entrepreneur? Is that something like when you say just like the idea come and just like, this is it?
It's funny. I didn't expect to become a business owner, an entrepreneur, but both of my parents were. I'm first generation Armenian, born in the States. My father's side came over from Beirut, Lebanon. My mother's side, she came from Canada, but her family, her older siblings and her family came from Istanbul, Turkey. So they came to the States. They started a business. It was very successful. So my parents were entrepreneurs, and I watched that my whole life. And I watched my father, really take on a lot, and my mother with him helping build that business. And I saw how challenging it was. So I did not expect for me to want to do that. Yet, through the course of my career, when I worked in my corporate life, I was always told you should own your own business. You should run your own thing. And my response was always, no, I can't do that. That's not for me. That's too much. I'm not that person. But it turns out I am that person.
I think it's in the blood.
Yeah.
So now you founded Boldness Ablaze coaching to provide executive and leadership coaching to women leaders in the work and lives. Can you tell us more about the company and the services it offers?
Yes. So Boldness Ablaze coaching, I named it that. You asked, and I will tell you, I named it that because I have a lot of fire in me, and the element of fire in the world transforms things. It creates our food. It heats us. It warms things. It can, when you add heat to anything, it changes it. It changes its form and structure. It changes its usefulness and utility. And so for me, when I think that when we add heat, like heat and passion and desire and excitement to anything we do, it changes us. And so that's why I named it Boldness Ablaze. And I offer executive coaching. I do primarily focus on coaching women. I do have some clients who are men because when they approach me to be coached, I'm game. Let's do it. I will do it. But I primarily market to women who are in leadership roles. Mostly my clients are at that senior level up into sort of the C-suite. I'm also a speaker, guest on podcasts, and I speak on panels, and I deliver workshops and some keynotes. And I work with groups because I enjoy the group dynamic, being in front of people, sharing ideas and having ideas come back and seeing the ideas change. And I love to watch people have those aha moments in those kinds of group settings. And in those group settings, the great news is that the work is not always on the speaker, right? When you're in a group with people, you're sharing ideas with each other. And so you can build off of and collaborate with each other and inspire each other. And I love watching that dynamic occur. And so that's another thing that I offer as well through my business.
So when you say that you do group, is it like group like a workshop, or is it like group coaching itself and also that one-on-one coaching?
Yes. So one-on-one coaching, and in the group form, it can be a simple talk or a webinar where I'm just sharing an idea. It can be an interactive. I love the interactive, engaging workshop type things. In fact, in March 2nd and 3rd, I'm hosting my first in-person 2-day women's leadership program for 12 women. It's small and intimate, and we're going to be digging into the things that women in leadership face, those imposter stories, the stories that we tell ourselves, how we negotiate our relationship with money, how we set our boundaries and manage our energy. I think that having it's fine to have someone share an idea with you and just talk, like a TED Talk where they're just sharing ideas. That's great. It's inspiring. But when you do a workshop or an interactive experience, it turns on a different part of the listener's brain. It gets them engaged. I want to hear what they have to say. I want to hear them talk and discover things for themselves and workshop ideas for themselves, write things down, draw them, have discussions, share in groups, share in pairs, because that's when change really happens, is when you're actually doing something, not just, oh, wow, Nagilia told me this amazing idea and I feel so inspired. Inspiration can wear off quickly when we leave that environment. But if we actually put something into practice and try it on for ourselves, that's when real change and learning can occur. And so anytime I can facilitate that, I will.
I feel like now I want to buy a ticket just being that.
I would love to have you. There are some spots open and we can talk after this conversation.
So where is the event going to take place?
Yeah, it's in Seattle, Washington. It's in a really beautiful space in it's called South Lake Union. It's where the Amazon headquarters are. And it is March 2nd and 3rd. It's 2 days. It's intentionally 2 days because it takes time for people to warm up and get to know each other and feel comfortable. And that's what I'm creating. This is a space for women. And so we're going to be it's a beautiful space itself. And I want everyone to be comfortable and connected. There's going to be delicious food. I want the whole experience, start to finish, to serve the leaders that these women are in a way that they deserve.
I love it already.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm really, really excited about it.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But is that something you're going to continue to do, or is just a one-time thing and you're done?
No, it's not a one-time thing. It's absolutely something I will continue to do as a signature offering for Boldness Ablaze.
And how can people be a part of it, even if they cannot make it this time, but next time, how can they actually join it?
Yeah, so we don't have the dates for the second cohort yet, but my hope is that we host it sometime in the late spring, early summer. And right now it's March 2nd and 3rd. As I said, this is our inaugural event. And I'm working to make this as successful and valuable and meaningful as possible for the participants. So if you are interested, I can share the website. It's boldnessablazecoaching.com/leadership essence. And if you go there, you can check it out. You can email me directly. We can talk, have a conversation to see if it's the right move for you. Because you want to be committed. It's a commitment to do something like this, and it has to feel right.
Do they have to? Is it like they have to talk to you first, or they can just buy it from your website?
If they want to register and they know it's right for them, by all means, make bold moves. And if someone has questions, absolutely, they can send me a message, and I'm happy to have a chat with them about it.
Awesome. I think it's going to be a great event, and I look forward to actually learn more about it after we're done with our conversation. But you primarily work with women in leadership to help them connect with themselves and become better leaders. So how do you achieve that?
How do I achieve that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so the idea of connecting with ourselves. So let me back up for a second. The reason that I present it as I work with women to connect more deeply with themselves is because I have conviction that when we know ourselves and we understand ourselves and have empathy and compassion for ourselves, we feel freer to go out and try things and put ourselves out there because we trust that whatever comes back, we can handle it. We have less fear, we have less worry. And if something is really difficult, we bounce back faster. We don't stay in this, I call it the spiral, like the mental and emotional spiral. And so when I coach one-on-one with women, I have all kinds of coaching tools and different models and ways of thinking that I can bring into the conversations. And a lot of the conversations really are you talking and me challenging your thinking. And asking you to consider alternative ways of approaching something, thinking about something, and mostly thinking about yourself, right? Because a lot of this is how we perceive ourselves and the world around us. It's about our attitude, about who we are and what our world is around us. If I have a story about you, Nagilia, that is how I'm going to engage with you all the time. But if I change that story, if I question that story, then guaranteed our engagement, our interactions will change. Yes. And so all I care about is that I apply this to myself as well, that I am as aware of myself as I can be at any moment so that I can make conscious choices and not be driven by my fear or this is what happened last time. And, I know how this is going to go. So I'm going to do it this way. Not feel encumbered or burdened by those kinds of thoughts so that I feel free to choose and create at any moment and not feel less stress and more ease. Like that's what it's about. Less stress, more ease. Can I be more at ease and comfortable with myself so that I can move through the world with a level of comfort and confidence and feel empowered?
Yes, especially
That's a really
as
long
leaders.
answer. Yes. Because look, if you're a leader, no matter if you're a man, woman, whatever, you're visible. People are looking at you. They are evaluating your choices. They are having opinions. They are, you intentionally are visible to people. When you're a woman who's a leader, it's even more so. Oh, why did she do that? Oh, why is she wearing that? Oh, let me explain this to you. Did you think about this? Women go through a different kind of circumstance, a different kind of, it's different for women in leadership.
Yes.
They have to fight different battles. And so the key to feeling confident and competent in those experiences is knowing myself. Because then, Nagilia, you can say anything to me. Well, you're a this, and did you do this? And I'm not as affected by it because I know who I am and I know what I believe in and I'm connected to it. I'm willing to listen to your opinion. I'm willing to have a discussion. I'm willing to disagree, but I am not going to make myself feel badly. I will not go home and question myself for days about it because I know my truth. I know my logic. And I'm confident in my expertise.
And that's pretty much what you're teaching women to do. And in that, I think that's one of the best key in life for us as women, because we like to question ourselves a lot. I don't know why, even like we can be good at something just because one person don't like what we are doing and they say something bad to us, we go home and we just question it and we stop doing it. Sometimes we just completely just stop just because we think other people won't like it. But in reality, it's not the truth. So what you are doing is necessary for us as women.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is my mission. It is exactly where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing. I
can say thank you to your dad for like allowing you to have that conversation in the car.
Yeah. Both of my parents were quite inspiring to me to create something from nothing the way they did. They really did. And, you know, if you can do that, possibilities are endless. We all face in some way obstacles. There are so many things that go on in this world that can get in our way. And I'm not diminishing the power of any of those. And sometimes we take our own time and have to go through our own journeys and our own healing in order to get to where we want to be. It's not like, I don't think that everybody should go out there and fight for everything and do like, that's not what this is about. This is simply about you and me and every woman that I have the honor to work with, feeling like she can trust herself and that she is capable and can give herself the opportunity to make choices at any time and to feel like she deserves it and it's okay. And it's just, that's how it should be.
Yes, it starts with you at the end of the day. Yes. For me, I always said that no one else knows you better than yourself. So I think that you are your best cheerleader and you also can be your worst enemy. So it's up to you to decide which way you want to go with yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So now you are a speaker, a coach, and a change expert, and a seeker of truth. How do you juggle all these roles? And which one do you enjoy the most?
So, you know, when I say I'm a seeker of truth, that's just my essence. That's who I am. I would be doing that whether I owned, you know, a pottery painting studio or I was coaching. That's just who I am. I'm always looking for the reasons why. I'm looking for understanding. I was that kid at the dinner table that was like, why are we doing that? Why do we have to do that? What is that about? I always was wanting to understand what was underneath. And I think that's what makes me a good coach. And I think that's what allows me to do what I'm doing. You know what? How do I juggle it? You make time for the things that you care about. That's it. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Sometimes my schedule looks like, you know, color blocks, 1,000 color blocks of different types, you know, for the whole week. But you make time for the things that matter. So when people say, I don't have time, when I dare say, I don't have time for that, it's a lie. very, very, very infrequently are we, so, you know, of course, there are things that occur in this life that completely consume us. I don't want to diminish any of those moments. But for our most of the time, for the day to day, when we're doing our work, when we're caring for ourselves, caring for our families, when we say we don't have time, it's a lie we tell ourselves. I tell myself that lie. I don't have time, you know, but I do. I can move things around, cancel something, say no to something for now so that I can say yes to something here, you know, in the present and get to something later on. There's time for the things that we care about and want.
So now as a speaker and a coach, which one do you like the most?
Oh, I don't know that I have a favorite. That's like picking a favorite child. But I think I get gratification and fulfillment from both equally. The one-on-one experience with people, we're able to go really deep and do some good discovery and like just building and expanding the way a person sees themselves. That to me is forever and always incredibly fulfilling. I also learn a lot in those conversations. There are things that my clients say that I never would have dreamed if I asked them a question. Their response is something I could have never dreamed up. And I'm always learning I can't make assumptions about anything. I can't tell stories about where my clients are. And so I'm always trying to come into a conversation with curiosity and not make any assumptions. And as a human being, not making assumptions is hard. But that's the only way that I can create a space where my client can bring whatever's going on with them into it and have it not be colored by any of my thoughts. The speaking is just fun. I love to be in front of people. I enjoy sharing ideas. I enjoy thinking fast on my feet. It's a challenge for me. It's just, that's fun stuff.
I guess you are you're not shy. You're more like a people person. So,
I can be shy. I mean, as a child, I was shy. I was nervous and insecure. And I definitely have, you know what? Now that I'm thinking this out loud now, Nigelia, I would not consider myself a true extrovert where I want to be around people all the time. I actually do like quiet time, a lot of quiet time alone and or just with my husband or my dogs or just one friend one-on-one. But I have gotten comfortable in awkward moments. Let's put it that way. I'm okay to stick my hand out and say, hi, I'm Zovig. What do? And you want to be my friend? I mean, what's the worst a person could say? They say no. Okay, then I move on. And I think I've built tolerance and resilience to that over time because I've done it for the purpose of one, building my business. You can't be shy if you want to build something. You have to ask for help. You have to ask if people are interested in it. You have to put it out there in the world regularly and often. So I have learned to be less shy, but I think there was always a small performer in me. I mean, I got kicked out of ballet class when I was a kid because all I wanted to do was dance and I didn't want to follow the rules. So, I guess shy is not the word. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think you are shy.
No, I don't think. Okay, you're right. I'm not shy. You're right. You're right.
you have the uncomfortable moments of life. It's like, yeah, I don't want
to be here. Yeah, good one. Good. You're right. I'm not shy.
So now let's talk a little bit about coaching. How do someone can actually, let's say that the leader looking for a coach. So how do the process start? How do they reach out to you? Do they need to make some sort of discovery call? How does that happen exactly?
Yeah, so it looks a little different every time. Sometimes I get a person who comes to me directly. They might see my stuff on LinkedIn. They might be Googling for a coach and they can run across my website. Most of the time, though, I am referred by people who know me or former clients. And so when that happens, then it's kind of, I already sort of trust who I'm being introduced to. And the way that I look at the process is you get to select me as your coach just as much as I'm selecting you as my client, because it's a relationship and we need to feel connected. Once someone reaches out to me, I'll have no less than 45 minutes to an hour conversation with them. Sometimes I might just coach them right away. In that call, because, I can tell you about how I coach, or I can just coach you. And then you can see if it fits you or if it works for you or not. And then we get to sort of engage with each other and see how that feels for us and if it feels right. Because like I said, when you're working with someone one-on-one, it needs to feel right for you. And so I want you to, after our call, to go away and think on it for a week and let the ideas percolate and see if it feels right for you. And then we schedule a time to come back and talk about what working together would look like. So, no matter what, I always want to do some level of coaching in those initial conversations, because I want to provide some value and help you, because if you're curious about coaching, then there's something going on that you would like some support for. So I want to provide value as soon as possible. But also it's the easiest way to know if we're going to work is if you get coached and you're like, she doesn't work for me. That's fine. Then it doesn't work. But you'll know right away. These things kind of, you can click and you feel it. They're intuitive. And if it feels right, my clients work with me typically from 6 to 12 months, but we always start out with a 3-month engagement. We start there. and we see how that goes. And then we reevaluate towards the end to see if we're going to extend into a longer term. And many of them do.
Yeah, I think one thing that you said that I like, the fact that you're not, just because you just give them, like, I'm taking it's a free coaching on that session you are doing with them. So you're not pushing them to buy anything. You're telling them, hey, take a week, think about it, get back to me, and then we set up something else. We continue with this. So I like that idea. It's not, you're not pushing them to do anything. You're just giving them value, your own time, which is very valuable because you're giving them your time. And even after that 45 minutes, you're telling them, take your time, think about it. Let's make the right decision. So I think it's one of the best one ever you can offer any woman.
Yeah. Who likes to be pushed? I hate to be pushed.
I don't.
I hate feeling like I'm being sold something, or coaching is a really personal experience, and a person needs to be ready. I'm not going to push you to get coached, because then when we get into our sessions, I'm going to be pulling things out of you, and that's not my job. You have to want to be coached. You have to want to come. One of the requirements I have of my clients is that they show up, they drive the coaching. You tell me what we're working on. I don't tell you. I don't know you. Like you said earlier, Nagilia, we know ourselves best. I don't know what you need to look at or what you want to talk through. That's your job. What do you want to get from this experience? And then I show up, you lead, and I follow. And a former coach said, oftentimes, you lead, I follow. And if you stop, I'm going to bump into you. And I always loved it when he would say that. I thought that was pretty cool. But, I can't tell you what you need to work on. That's your job. And then I support you in that. So you have to know and be clear and confident that coaching is what you want to do, and that coaching with me is what you want to do. And if you're game, then you show up at 100%, and I will too, and we'll make some magic happen.
I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to let you be the coach, because it's just talking to you. It's a lot of fun,
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love my work. I'll tell you what, I love my work. So that means a lot. Thank you.
You can see the passion when you're talking about it. But now, I'm very curious about this. Your clients say that you have an X-ray vision.
X-ray vision? Yeah.
Yeah. How do you get to know things in a short span and make the client feel comfortable, open up to you at the same time?
Yeah. The X-ray vision comment was because I see through to what it meant was I see right through to the thing that's actually happening. I can kind of cut through the clutter and say, I think what might be going on is this. What do you think? Am I on to something? So that's what that meant. How I make someone comfortable. I mean, I wish I had a blueprint for how I do that. I'm glad that that's how it feels. The way I see it is there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with anybody, right? You come to coaching. I'm not here to fix anything. There's nothing to fix. And so, because nothing's broken. And you're fine tuning, you're optimizing, you're getting curious about yourself. You're learning about yourself. How can I do this different? How can I do this better? Am I being me? Am I maximizing everything that I have in my work to feel good and be happy and create things in my life? That's not something to fix. That's something to celebrate. So I've had many friends in my life say to me, I know I can say this to you. I can say anything to you, because you can tell me anything. I mean, it's okay. And because here's the thing, I think the reason that I'm able to create that space is because that's what I want. When I talk to you, I want to be able to say anything. I want to be able to feel my feelings and to be honest about myself and to share myself candidly and vulnerably if I need to. I don't like small talk. When I'm networking, I'm at a networking event with a sticker on my, jacket. I say, hi, like, what excites you? What are you working on right now? Those are the kinds of questions I want to ask. And those are the kinds of questions I want to answer. So if I want that, then I'm able to create that for my clients. Again, it starts with me. It has to start with me.
Yes. And I love one thing that you said. Nothing is broken. There's nothing to be fixed. We need to celebrate ourselves every day. So I wish another coach will say that to me, Sonia.
Yeah, there's nothing to fix.
There's nothing to fix. So now, your vision is a world where women go after what they want. What do you think stop women from following their heart?
Oh, so many things. So many things. I mean, a lot of it's how we think. Like I said earlier, it's our attitudes and perceptions about ourself and the world around us. And those attitudes and perceptions and stories come from so many things. They can come from family, they can come from culture and how we grew up, they can come from community, they can come from institutions, they can come from the systems that let's listen in the, especially in the United States. Well, not just in the United States. I mean, the world feels upside down right now. There are many things going on that are heartbreaking and traumatic and just soul crushing. And many of them are geared and directed at women.
Yes.
And so it is hard to not absorb those stories and have that shape how we look at ourselves and how we look at the world. It is really hard. It takes a lot of diligence and self-love and care to create a bit of a shield and say, no, I'm not going to listen to that. And I know that that's how it's always been. And I'd like to try and break a barrier here. I'd like to put a crack in the wall at least, and so a lot of it comes from the outside. And then as humans, we pick and choose what to listen to. Sometimes the messages are forced on us, no matter what we do. And then they kind of become our own stories. And it's our job to look at those stories and decide whether or not they're working for us. And if they're not, have the courage and ask for help and support to try and rewrite the stories little by little.
And that's where coach come in.
That's where coaching comes in, therapy comes in, communities that we are part of, friendships. I mean, there are so many ways to help us rewrite some of those stories and change that internal narrative for ourselves. Coaching is just one of the ways.
Yes. So now I have two more questions for you before I let you go. And one of them is, I know that you are in the United States, and as a coach, do you work with anywhere within in the world itself, or do you focus just in the United States?
I actually have had a few clients who have lived in Europe. So far, that's as far as I've gone, but I'd be happy to work with folks who are outside of the US. Absolutely. And most of my clients currently are here.
In US. Do they have to be small business? Do they have to work for a big organization? Or what type of, does it just stay within corporation itself, like someone that's in the C-suite and that's it?
Yeah, actually both. I work with business owners and I work with women who work in large and small companies, startups clear through, the Microsofts and Amazons of the world. And it doesn't just have to be one-on-one. Sometimes I contract with the company to coach several of the leaders within that company. So you can come to me directly, or I can work with the company and be a coach within the company for more than one person at a time.
For the organization itself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that women today are making strides in every industry, but yet we have a long way to go. So even that in male-dominated industries, now if you're finding a woman trying to get on the top. So what advice would you give to women that's trying to break barriers and for them to believe in themselves that they can do it?
Yeah. Do whatever you need to do to get to know your own truth, to understand your own values, to understand your essence. And when I say essence, and this is not my definition, but it's a definition that my former coach used. Your essence is who you are naturally in the world that adds value without you having to try. It is who you would be no matter what job you had, you would still be that way. If we can get more and more connected to that and acceptance is huge. Accept who we are as we are without, I have to change this and I'll be fine once I change this. No. Accepting as you now. If we can accept and get connected to our essence, that's when anything becomes possible. Because then we really build trust in ourselves. Then we take chances. Then we can have hard conversations. Then we can deal with conflict. Then we can deal with people issues when we're leading teams because we're not afraid because we know who we are. We are grounded and strong. And so if you have a differing opinion or you come at me with conflict, I'm not afraid of it because I know who I am. And I know that I'm there to create to create some kind of connection with you. And I trust myself to do it. And that takes time. It takes time. It's not a light switch. It takes time. I'm in this journey too, Nagilia. I will say, like, I work with coaches. I'm always in some level of work and exploration because there's always more to learn about yourself.
I don't know, but I feel like I can have this conversation with you over and over and over and over again.
I'm so glad. And I'd be happy to do that with you. I will talk about this stuff forever.
Anything else you'd like to share with us before I let you go today?
No, I think that's it. I will just shamelessly drop the plug for my Leadership Essence program. It's happening March 2nd and 3rd. If anyone is interested, there's still a few spots left. It is in person in Seattle, Washington. You can visit my website, boldnessablazecoaching.com/leadership essence, and get in touch. Follow me on LinkedIn. And I would love to connect if someone's interested in coaching. Otherwise, I just hope that everybody takes good care of themselves.
Exactly. And also that I think that's an event you don't want to miss, because talking to her, just if you are like in the bottom of the floor, you're gonna get on the top. She's gonna put you right on the top. So it's an event you don't want to miss, especially if you're looking for a coach. I think it's a great opportunity to get to know her as well and to see how you will be able to work with her. So it's a win-win situation, and you get things done. So I thank you so much, Zovig, for giving me the chance to have this conversation and to talk to you. I appreciate what you are doing. And every time I have a conversation with other women, I felt like I'm not alone. There's other women fighting for other women, and we need to continue doing that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Nagilia. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Female Founders Podcast. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or connect with us on womel.com. so that you don't miss our next episode. See you next time. Bye for now.